Hello again. We've we had to. We are left that we could now do this. We can't. If we click again on our game, the numbers aren't changing. But we have to know when somebody wins, and as soon as somebody wins, is at the moment. If somebody wins, we can keep on playing. But we don't want that. We want to say, yeah, 0 in this case is 1, and there's nothing else to do unless you want to reset the game and start again. Okay, so let's do that part. We go to interaction. Okay, so I think we'd have to do that here, wouldn't we? When the cell is actually clicked. We'd have to work out, we have to test to see if the user has actually won the game. So if the user has won, well, we want to end the game. If the game has ended, well, I guess we don't want to be able to do anything, do we? So we would probably need another variable here that keeps us with that state. So we'd start off. The game is not over, of course. We've just started. And remember our reset one. We'd have to make sure that when we reset the game, if the game is over, we have to set that back to false again. Okay, so we left that in our reset. So when we reset, that should be okay. The game is not over when we reset. So we have to test if the game has been won. How can we do that? Well, let's just think. We've got a function that says has won. If it's won. And if the game has been won by somebody, then we have to set the game over is true. But I mean, what are we maintaining this thing for? Because that would be another case that we don't want to do anything once the game is won. So there is one thing with the conditionals in JavaScript and in other languages as well, but in JavaScript we can make if statements and conditionals a bit more complex using ands and nors. So maybe we want a conditional that is, we want, in this case, we want to make sure that the cell, if the cell already has been clicked, we don't want to do anything. But if the game is over, we don't want to do anything either. So we want to say that if the cell is already clicked, or if the game is over, do nothing. Okay, so we need an or. How do we write or statements and statements? How would we do that? Well, there is a kind of a symbol that may seem a bit strange at first, but it's common to other languages as well, not all. Yes, Python actually does have an and an or. We can write like in English. But in JavaScript and C and things like that, we write, say, true if true, and the and we would write like that. If true and false, then we get a false. If true and true, so they both have to be true for it to be true. And we write an or like this. If true or false, then it's true. If true or true, then it's true. And false, if false, or false, or false, we get false. But of course, we're putting just simple things that might seem a bit strange. But if we have cell empty, or game over, then do nothing. That's what we want to do. Okay, so we do our or for testing for if the cell is not empty, or if the game is over, do nothing. Okay, and then we're setting game over when somebody has won. How do we know if somebody has won? Well, this is a function we've said, but again, we haven't written this function yet. So let's go ahead and write this function. Function has won. Somebody has won. Oh, the current player, whose turn it is, who just selected something. So has won. How can we determine has won? We have to know all the winning combinations, I guess, don't we? And we have to test if the user has one of those combinations already set up. So let's go step by step. What are the winning combinations? We could have a variable with all those winning combinations. What would they be? Well, we've talked about lists, but are basically arrays. So we've got our list, which is our array like this. But one thing we can do, okay, because in this case we've got a combination would be, say, the first row would be, if we talk about positions, so let's think about the positions. Each of these cells has a position. If we number them 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the combinations would be, if we talk about positions, would be 0, 1, 2. If we have those three selected, if we have an X on the three of them, X has 1, hasn't he? So, but also if we had the second row, that would also be a win. So basically we have a list of lists, which is winning combinations, a list of different winning combinations, which I understand would be a list of lists. Okay, maybe it's a bit difficult at the beginning to wrap your head around it, but you'll see how it works. I think it does make sense. So we have a const would call it our winning combinations, and we have a list of all our winning combinations. Let's close that. What would be one of the winning combinations? Well, as we said, hang on, I'm going to move this. No, the other way around. Get this, put it like this so we can see. Okay, so we're talking about 0, 1, 2, 3. So winning combination, we said the first row would be 0, 1, and 2. That would be the first row. The second row, that would be, the second line would be position 0, 1, 2, so it'll be 3, 4, 5, wouldn't it? 3, 4, 5, the second row. Third row, if we have all three of the set third row, that would be 6, 7, 8. Good, another winning combination. What would be other winning combinations? Would be the column. So we'd have the first column here would be 0, 3, and 6, is it? 0, 1, 2, 3, yes. 4, 5, 6, yep, 7, 8. Okay, so we'll go back. So our first column would be 0, 3, and 6. Second column, that would have to be position 1, position 4, and position 7. And our third column, all three selected, would be 2, 5, 8. Good. But we've also got the diagonals. First diagonal will be 0. This would be 4 and 8. So 0, 4, and position 8. And the other diagonal would be 0, no, 1, 2, 4, and 6. Okay, so we've established our winning combinations. So the next step would be to see how we can get all the users' positions and see if they match up with one of these winning combinations. So that is a logic we'll have to think about. Think of how we could do that, and we'll do it in our next episode.